So, a friend asked me to come up with a cocktail that she could drink while watching the TV show Outlander. And well, obviously that's going to be a drink with Scotch in it because of it being set in Scotland and things like that. And I had a look around and the Rob Roy was an obvious choice until I suddenly thought, let's go for something that's maybe just a little bit more sort of interesting. Well, they're all interesting. They're, kind of spins on a Manhattan. But the one I did come across that we're going to do today is the Bobby Burns, named either after the poet Robert Burns, the national poet of Scotland, wrote address to a haggis and things like that, many, many, many other poems. Or it was named after the fact that there was a shop opposite the Astoria that sold Bobby Burns cigars. I don't know, these stories all get lost in the mists of time, it's about 100 years ago or so, who knows. But nonetheless, the Bobby Burns is what we're going to make today. It is, of course, a Scotch drink because Scotland, Scotch. But you don't have to stick in you can, but you don't have to stick in a 40, 50, 60, $100 bottle of single malt whiskey. A blended is just fine, and I chose Teachers. Firstly, it's jolly decent. Secondly, it's quite affordable. This cost, when I went to the liquor store in Moscow, Idaho, $20. I think that's affordable. But also, I have rather fond memories of this. My grandmother used to come up to my house when I was growing up all the time. And every day, in fact, after work, she'd pop up, say hello and have a cup of tea. And it turned out what she liked to have in her cup of tea was a shot of Teacher's whiskey. Okay, that seems quite a nice thing to do at the end of the day. But then also, it was funny, I had a bottle of this when I lived in Peru. And one day, I got up and for a change, I was made breakfast by someone there. And I was like, oh, this is great. And they made me a cup of tea and they gave me the tea and said, well, what do you think of that? And I started drinking. I said, yeah, it's delicious. I said, no, what do you really think of that? And I said, yeah, it's delicious, thank you. And they said, what? And I said, yeah, lovely, thank you. And they said, you can't taste the whiskey in it? And I was like, no, but it's really nice. So my guess is not enough whiskey was put in, and that is not the case for this drink. It takes 2 ounces of whiskey poured into a mixing glass already filled with ice. And then to go with that, we're going to sweeten it up a little bit, although it's a fairly sweet whiskey to be honest. 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. Let's make sure we have that the right way around, otherwise the balance will be all out. There we go. And then there's the final kind of more mysterious, herbally, earthy, interesting concoction to go in there. And we're going to put in a 1/2 ounce of Bénédictine. Scotland, what on earth is something French doing in there? Well, it turns out the French and the Scots all had a good relationship and united by a sort of general dislike of the English. And although I have a lot of English blood, I will admit and acknowledge and be proud of the fact I do have some Scottish blood in me as well, on both sides, and I'm very pleased about that. But enough about me, let's get on with this drink. It's all there in the glass, we'll give it a stir. And in the background I'm listening to Lust for Life, which Iggy Pop may not be a notably Scottish person, but it really was the starting song to one of the greatest films set in Scotland, set in Glasgow, filmed in Edinburgh, and that's Trainspotting. Great film. But this is not heroin. Don't do heroin. This is nice and cold now. And we're just going to pour it into a chilled cocktail glass. Like so, and the only garnish in it that I could see is a twist of lemon. So we'll just take off some of that. I already tried to jump into the glass but missed. Again, we sort of fold it over so that some of the lemon oil comes out, and let's see what we've got. Yes, you can definitely watch TV and drink one of these.